Hey everyone, welcome back to Notes to Self. My name is Melanie.
And I'm Cory.
And we were both born and raised in a polygamous church here in Utah called the AUB, or the Apostolic United Brethren. I was raised with 4 mothers and 34 brothers and sisters, and my dad is the current leader.
My dad is not the current leader. He had 9 wives and 39 kids, all grew up in a United Order up in Pinesdale, Montana. So,
yep,
the compound, the real compound. So
the real compound. My parents live on a fake compound now. But we are going to give you our thoughts and recap of Sister Wives, Season 20, Episode 9, Standoff at Coyote Pass. And Cory is not going to do a whistle like Cody Brown did. He's not going to even pretend that he is a cowboy.
No.
He used to be once upon a time.
I never was.
He loved Wranglers. They were his favorite jeans when he was growing up. He was like...
I didn't get to wear jeans growing up.
I know, that's true, huh? You guys wore corduroy pants? That was about all you could wear. At what age did you get your first pair of jeans?
When I started working on my own, probably about 17.
Are you serious? Yeah. I didn't get my first real pair of jeans until I was in the 5th grade, however old you are for that. We could not afford that. Yeah. And a pair of Levi's 501 blue jeans were $10. I want to say they were $8 to $10 a pair, and there's no way my parents could buy that for us. And I remember I got my very first pair, and the girls at school made so much fun of me because I finally got caught up to what the fashion was and everyone else was doing. And so, yeah, those were brutal times. See, you're lucky that you were homeschooled, because if your siblings made fun of you, then they were wearing the same clothes. They were wearing the same clothes. They were probably wearing your old clothes.
Yeah, exactly.
So
I had the nicest.
Talking about childhood trauma and clothes, we should probably remind everybody to do their healing work. Yep. If you are human in a human body, then you have experienced some level of trauma. So we do encourage you to find a healing modality that works for you, whatever that may look like, whether that's therapy, whether that's a walk in the mountains, whatever modality of healing works for you. We've had a lot of questions. What do you mean by doing your healing work? It means that when you are triggered by something, something upsets you, it's an unhealed wound going on somewhere inside of you. And so we really just encourage people to take a look at that and see what you can do to heal that. See what you can do to go through that. And as we walk through Sister Wives, we see exactly why everyone should do their healing work, because there's just so much trauma. And if you're raised in a high controlled religion like polygamy, there's an extra layer of trauma. So yeah, this episode there's a lot going on. I find it funny when, there's maybe not always all of the stuff going on that people recognize, but I find it funny when they're like, this episode was so boring, there was nothing that happened, and we're over here pausing every 5 seconds going, what the hell? What? Oh my gosh. And so
did she just really say that? She did.
Oh my God, that's going to be 10 years of therapy after that. So there's a lot going on in this episode for that. I literally have 2.5 pages worth of notes. This wasn't as full of information as some of the other episodes, but there was still a lot that happened. Christine cracked me up in this episode a lot because I relate a lot to her. I feel like David and Cory are very similar in their just chilledness. And Christine's like, I don't know. There might be 10 people at the party there. I don't know who's all going to show up. I feel like that was such a play on how we are, where I'm like, I don't know. I mean, I'll tell you what I do know, but I don't know if there'll be 50 people at our house or 10. I have no clue. So I feel like we kind of go through that too.
Yep.
What was the funniest part of this entire episode to you?
The funniest? I
caught you off guard, didn't I?
Yeah, I have no clue what the funniest one was. So
I thought it was when Robin says they have to have a relationship with you and me, and you're like, okay.
Well, you're saying funny. That wasn't funny. That's
trauma.
That's serious. That's her laying down the law to Cody and to the kids. Hey, if there's going to be work done and you're going to have a relationship with your father, you're going to need to have one with me too.
Yeah.
And that's going to put that would put a halt on me as a kid reaching out to my dad if I had to have a certain kind of relationship with one of the wives.
Mm-mm.
So
I think it's really telling. We're seeing a lot more of just how manipulative and controlling that Robin is with Cody. And then also, honestly, I think he throws her under the bus way more than she, probably deserves. But I think
they both throw each other.
They play off each other. So they're so toxic together. And if you call that wonderful soulmateness, good. I don't think that's, to me, it's very toxic. It's a very toxic way that they interact with each other.
Yeah, I don't think anything in this episode was funny. There's days of relief. There's like, oh my goodness. So
yeah,
I think when everything in there was going to cause some sort of agony. So
right.
When Janelle was like, I'm going to get a release, that's going to.
I'm so glad she did that.
Yeah, there goes Cody's other kidney. So
yeah, I am really, really glad that Janelle finally did that, because even if she doesn't need it for herself, honestly, there is always this level of ownership that these men feel over these women. Gosh, I got my release from my ex-husband almost 26 years ago, and he still feels like he owns me.
He's diligent.
He is. He's a trooper. He's going to hold in there.
Some other men just move on, find somebody else, and go, okay, I got a spiritual release. They're no longer part of my family. I'll find somebody else to replace that person. But your ex-husband is a diligent man.
Yep. And sure. You are going to be my pool boy one day in heaven. Yep. So there you go.
If I make it. I'm not going to probably make it to your guys' heaven.
You'll be fishing somewhere, and I'll be jealous that I'm not hanging out with you. So one thing that, just an FYI, the holiday seasons are coming up, and we are really trying to promote Holding Out Help as much as we can. Holding Out Help is an organization here in Utah that helps people who are wanting to leave polygamy. They are 100% ran. They're a nonprofit. They're 100% ran by the goodness of people who can help them. And they have had a 278% increase in need with people who are waking up and wanting to get out of these high controlled religions. So if you are looking to where you can donate for this holiday season, I know it's the biggest giving time of the entire year, please take them into consideration. We always post them in our show notes at the very top of the show notes. You can click right on there. It should take you straight to their donation page. I don't know if there's a place you can always put that, hey, came in here from Notes to Self. I don't really care if you do that. The owner, Tanya Tewell from Holding Out Help, asked us, just ask your people to put in a little note so that I can kind of track where people are coming from. So if you want to do that, great. If not, we personally don't really mind one way or the other, but just know that they know how to make a dollar stretch. And we have been very cautious with who we would donate our time to and our resources to. And we met with them recently, and we went to their facility and saw how wonderful it is and the things that they provide for people. And it's amazing.
Yeah, the interesting thing was I was really lucky when I got out of AUB, because I had family that was outside of the AUB that could help me. But a lot of these people don't. Their whole family are in these religions, and so when they leave, they're leaving on their own, and they have nobody. They're shunned from the rest of everybody that they knew growing up. So
right. That's how I felt. I had nobody when I came out. It was me. It was me and 3 little babies. And I had to figure out, my baby was 1, and I had to figure it out. I didn't have a high school diploma. I didn't know what I was going to do. And I wish so desperately that I would have had somebody like Holding Out Help, that just even for the therapy that they offer people alone. So please take them into consideration when you're doing that, because honestly, I sure wish I would have had somebody to support me and I didn't have to just figure it out. But a lot of people out there just have to figure it out. So a lot of people don't have a show like Sister Wives, and I want to be careful, because I don't want to feel like we're not shaming these women for having show money. They have put their lives on the line, and they have exposed themselves, and they've taken a lot of heat and a lot of criticism. So there's no shame in the fact that they have show money and that they can afford to do these things on their own. I am so there should be a reward for the fact that they have put their lives out there for criticism for the whole world. And so if one of those benefits is that they can leave this high demand religion, Good for them. I'm glad to see that they have that option and that their kids have that option too.
And that they're helping people too. I mean, I'm sorry, the show
Right.
is waking up a lot of people within these cults. So
Right. So let's get back to standoff at Coyote Pass. I think this thing is so ridiculous. It is 100% dramatized for television. There is no reason under any possible realm that any of these people had to go to Coyote Pass to actually sign this document or to even see each other. They never have to ever see each other. We have done a million divorce real estate transactions. You never have to see the other person. This was 100% made for TV.
Not quite a million, but
well, yeah, maybe 900,000 or so.
So,
but it's ridiculous. In the last 26 years, 25 years, we've been in real estate. We've seen dozens and dozens of transactions like this, and no one ever has to go there. So production forced them all to get together, I'm sure. And from the way they talk about it, every last one of them, there's a lot of trauma involved with having to see each other.
Well, the interesting part is Robin, that she pulls up and the first thing she says is, I was hoping that
I know
we could have a conversation and we could do this. And again, this is Robin's MO, that she was hoping, what'd she say?
Saying one thing and doing something totally different.
Well, I would have liked to get out and said hello, but does she get out and say hello? Absolutely not. And it's an authority or a power thing. She needs them to reach out and make contact first before she's going to do it. And yeah, Mary didn't even, all I saw was Mary staring them all down going, hey, are we going to make eye contact here? And nope, she had to look at Cody, at the realtor, at the beautiful scenery that she was missing and mope. And then Janelle says, yeah, I think Robin thought she was going to get persecuted or attacked, and it's her little victim thing. And even though they didn't say anything, didn't make eye contact, didn't, deep down, Robin still felt persecuted and attacked.
We tried to make eye contact, but they were letting me know they didn't want to have anything to do with me. So I think too, we saw a lot of previews for what's coming up. And I think that honestly, Robin and Cody are trying to throw Janelle under the bus with Mary. And I don't know that it'll actually play out the way the clips that TLC is giving us. I still have confidence in Janelle and Mary that they really truly did have an ally system together, that they really were looking out for each other. And so I want to have that belief and that hope that those two were not going to sell each other out. Janelle was not going to sell Mary down the river and be like, nope, sorry, sell it out from under her. She probably couldn't have. There was, Mary did hold a lot of cards. And if you watched our previous video, my theory that Mary had a cloud on title or an encumbrance on title, so title could not have been transferred or sold to someone else while that was still available, while that was still on there. Now, I've had some criticism of that. These kind of clouds and titles don't always show up on public record. They just don't. My mom currently has one on my dad's property and it does not show up on public record. So anyone can criticize that if they want to, but not all the time do these show up on public because they're typically temporary. And so they don't get added to public record as like where the general population can look them up. Now title company can pull these things up, but they're not generally added to like the county records. So there's that too. Let's see. Cody claimed in this part of it that him and Robin basically rolled over just to get the thing done. And I'm just like, really? You think so? Maybe Cody rolled over because he signed the deed in January, where Robin did not sign it till the end of March. It seems like Robin was really holding out. Maybe Cody convinced her to hold out. Who really knows? Honestly, who almost even cares? But it's like, I feel like anyone who had sadness about Coyote Pass, I would think would be Janelle, because she spent a lot of time living on Coyote Pass with Garrison. Right. She's the only one that lived there. Maybe Cody and Robin took their kids up there and did 4-wheeler rides or whatever, but
her Sound of the Music walk for the TV.
Yeah, her Sound of Music walk. Yeah. And it's almost like it's exhausting to listen to the trauma of having to let this property go. Like, I just can't let this family go. This is the last piece of having our family together. I'm like, shut up. Nobody believes you. And then the drama and the tears and, hey, Ari, did you hear that? We are not going to own the property anymore. Let me control my children's emotions around this. And then it's like, we see this over dramatization where you see Janelle very calmly say, yeah, I'm going to really miss Coyote Pass. There was a lot of memories. Garrison photographed the night sky a lot up here. And then you almost flip, boom, immediately to the next scene. And Cody goes, Robin doesn't like fakeness. She doesn't, or Robin goes, I don't endorse fakeness. I don't want to have anything to do with fakeness. I'm like, are you kidding me? We just watched 4 episodes of you queuing up the tears every 2 seconds. Earnest money gets talked about, or a borrower. Like, you don't endorse fakeness. What are you smoking right now, kid? And so, yeah, I think it's funny because I think that they talk out of one side of their mouth and then say another thing out of the other side of their mouth. And I see Cody and Robin do it all the time. And then Cody talks about girl games. Oh, Robin doesn't like girl games. On this show, in my opinion, what little of the show that we've seen, she invented girl games in this.
Well, she doesn't like playing girl games where she's outwitted, and that's a lot. So when you're going up against 3 original wives that will outwit her every time and beat her, then she doesn't want to play the game. She's taking her Cody and going home.
Yeah. Well, go ahead.
No. And so, yeah. But if she's got the upper hand or can get Cody to be Cody's the one playing the girl games with it, but he's puppeting Robin to go play the girl games because then they can't attack poor Robin. She's not safe.
So in polygamy, I, being a girl, born and raised into it, that is all I ever saw in my entire life was girl games. It was exhausting. This is why I never had girlfriends growing up. I had 1 or 2 maybe girlfriends here and there, but I didn't more often than not. Any friend that I had was male. And so I was a threat to a lot of the girls too, because the guys like to hang out with me, and I'm 6'2". Like that, people just like to, I resonated more with men because I was the same size as them. And so, but yeah, girls are way smaller than me. And the average girl is a lot smaller than me. And so I always felt uncomfortable and awkward around girls because I was this giant in a room full of 5'5", 5'6", nothing girls, And so, not that they're nothing. But when we were teenagers, it was hard because I always felt so much bigger. But I just watched these girl games and I noticed them very, very small. I was very young. Probably the first time I pointed out I was 4 years old, because that is all I have ever seen polygamous women do is girl games with each other. So for Robin to bring that out, and just in the small amount of episodes I've seen, identify her as being one of the biggest girl game players, it's comical to me. I see that's the part I thought you were going to say was the funniest part to you.
No, and she would probably argue that she plays righteous sister wife games. And these women are no longer sister wives, and so they just play girl games. So
that's probably true. Well, go ahead. Sorry, I keep cutting you off. But one of the things that Cody did say on here is that he's really ashamed at how badly Coyote Pass went from day one until the day that they sold it. And even after, he said there was a lot of drama afterwards, and he's really ashamed at how that happened. And to me, it's like, Cody loves to quote things like, what you do one way is how you do everything. What you do, how you do one thing is how you do everything. Where we go one, we go all. He loves to quote all of these different, like, philosophical, whatever, club he's in at the time. And one of the things that I would like to say to him is, if you brought your family out to Flagstaff under false pretenses, why would you think that Coyote Pass would go any differently than it did? Why do you think that it would be? Because you brought your family to Flagstaff unintegratably. They all felt duped. They all felt like, at least what they're expressing now, they did feel duped when they found out Dayton had gotten into college. So how did you expect this to go when you started it under false pretenses?
Because he'd been getting away with that for 17 years.
Yeah, for 20 something years.
He'd been getting away with saying something to then coerce the wives to follow him to do stuff. He'd been getting away with it.
Right.
And so this was the first time that it came undone. He couldn't get away with it.
Well, and a lot of that has to do with the fact that they're being filmed.
Mm-hmm.
And so many people, especially with the girl games, you can't always identify these things because how do you prove it? How do you say that felt like, you hate me with a smile on your face. How do you prove that? And all they have to say is, no, that's not how I feel. That's not, she misunderstood. But now that they're being filmed, now they have to be accountable for their actions of what they're doing. And so, yeah, I can see that. And I think it's really tragic that Cody's over here going, I don't know why Coyote Pass went so badly. Well, it went so badly because you were unintegratable about it. I love this. We're going to show you our first clip here. I love this clip of Christine because I feel like this is so true. And we've been saying this from day one. No amount of money that she could have made off Coyote Pass would save her from the brain damage that she would have gotten with Coyote Pass. Yep. So let's see here.
Got to unmute it.
That happened for all of those years about it. I wasn't involved with it at all. I am so glad that I got out of the whole Coyote Pass thing when I left Cody. Look, I have no idea how much money they got for the property. No idea how much each of them made. And frankly, I don't care. Even if it was a better deal than I got when I sold my house, I really don't care. Oh my gosh. It's not worth any amount of money.
Mm-hmm.
None.
Yep. And I fully agree. I think that she got off, even if she made, would have made $100,000 more too. I don't think that the brain damage would be worth that. So I think it would be like, get me out of here. And just the sleepless nights, you're listening to Janelle and Christine, or Janelle and Mary go, God, this has been the worst. You're listening to them talk about that. And I can only imagine. I think that she got off pretty cheaply for just taking her equity out of her home.
And I just wrote down wise woman.
Yeah. Very wise. So then we're going, let's see. Oh, so then we're talking about Mary and sorry, I got my notes. Can't even read my own notes anymore. Mary and Robin, Mary says that Robin didn't even take a look at her the entire time. I mean, just think about that right there. The whole meeting at Coyote Pass, that would have been worth it right there, not to have that extra money, not to have to deal with that.
Well, that's the interesting part because it could be just editing, but Mary seems to be eyeballing those guys,
like,
keeping eye contact. Come on, let's have that connection, that eyeball connection. Yeah. The reason that they don't want to have that connection is because they're ashamed of what they've done and what they've gone through. That's not on TV,
right?
And Mary's there, like, okay, let's have more of a conversation. They're like, nope.
But I also feel like if you're ashamed or embarrassed of your behavior, you do tend to look around. You don't want to make eye contact with the person that you feel like you have done wrong.
Yeah. And Cody and Robin are scared of Mary. So
again, that goes back to my thing. I think Mary put a cloud on title and she held the cards.
Or she just knows so much information.
Oh, well, that too. And she could really go after them.
So
all right. So then we skip ahead. Christine and David are doing facials. I love it that she says she talked to Danielle, her sister. That's her sister from another mother. She's great. I haven't seen her in years though. But she says that Danielle told Christine that she was terrible at monogamy because she'll get in there and she'll just take over a house or she'll take over a relationship, and she's super independent. This is very true. Because you're so used to doing everything on your own. You have to learn to survive completely on your own. And yet again, you're nothing without your husband. So contradictory and so I think it's funny because her sister is a polygamist. And so I think that's hilarious that she's over here calling her out for being, you're a terrible monogamist. You need to go, not that she told her she needed to go back to polygamy, but I think it's funny. I think it's awesome to watch Christine and David I don't want to watch their facials, like that's whatever, but I think it's awesome that they're out there doing things together because it does feel like you have a best friend. Like I love that we do it feels like I have a best friend. Like who am I going to tell shit to if I don't tell it to you?
We went and got our nails painted together.
No, Cory painted my nails for the holiday weekend. If you follow us on Instagram, you'll see I posted a story about it last night. I do have to teach him some technique. I broke a few of them, which just sucks. But yeah, last night at 11 o'clock at night, we're sitting there. I'm like, will you paint my nails for the holiday weekend? I don't want to go into the salon.
She saw me practicing with the babies, painting their little dolls.
I know, that's true.
So she's like, well,
a memory popped up on my social media, and we had just bought the Rapunzel doll for our granddaughter. And she brought her home and she's like, Grandpa, she needs some nail polish on. And so this memory popped up of me recording the two of them. And he's over there painting Rapunzel's nails with the bright pink polish. And he's like, what does this look like? She's like, that looks so great. So you did her toenails and her fingernails. So that was a really cute memory. So I was like, see, you're a pro. You can do mine. Okay, so then we're at New Orleans.
Rapunzel didn't complain.
Well, so. Rapunzel just took it. She still has painted nails. That was like 4 years ago, maybe 3 years ago. Okay, so then we've got Janelle and her friends in New Orleans, and her friends are talking about how they try to support Janelle in whatever she wants to do, but they've been worried because Janelle keeps talking about polygamy like it's still an option for her.
Which it may be.
Which, I mean, because of how Janelle is, I could see her almost doing it again, just because she is so independent. And where, like, I'm not saying Christine's not independent, because she's very independent, but she wants to emotionally be attached to somebody, where Janelle doesn't really care if she's emotionally attached or not. So that's why I'm saying I don't know what it would be beneficial to Janelle if she did it.
Well, because she probably still has some sort of belief in the original reason that they got into it. Would be my guess. So
right,
she has not removed herself that far from the belief system. So is my guess.
Really? So she would do it just for eternal salvation?
Reason. Yeah. If they've found
I mean, especially because we are so, even in the mainstream Mormon church, this is really taught into the girls. Or at least if it's not taught, it's a very much understanding. You cannot get into heaven without a man.
Yeah.
And so that would be my reason. I would guess that would be why she'd want to do it, is because she can't get into heaven.
If she still believes in the core beliefs that they came in to a little bit, even a little bit, might not believe in the leadership, might not, but believe in the core beliefs. That's why I feel like Mary got a release too. Christine didn't want anything to do with polygamy. She was looking outside of polygamy for a man, a husband, and didn't want to live the polygamy part again. And I don't feel like, so she had no reason to go get a release. She left him and got remarried. That works just great. But if you're getting a release for two reasons. That's either to spite Cody, or because you still believe in the religion itself, and you need to legally or spiritually get released from a man to marry.
So I just did one to spite Joe?
Could have, yeah. So it didn't work. So
I was never going to get a release. I didn't really care. But yeah, Cory talked me into going and doing it. So finally I just called the prophet that day, and I was not very nice. I was just like, this is going to happen. This is going to happen today. And then we went into his office and he did his little voodoo magic, and then it was over. And then I was like, well, that's the end of that. What are you laughing at?
I liked how you described it. So.
Well, what else can it really be? I mean, because this one man on the entire planet has the authority to tell me who I'm going to be eternally tied to.
Yeah. But that's something we don't believe now, but at the beginning of our thing, you're curious, we're wondering, and so we have been trained from infants to follow a certain patterns, follow
the prophet,
follow everything, and so you're doing things until you completely rearrange that belief system and believe something different. So and so they're in the process of losing their religion, but part of the process is to get a release so that you can legally go out and start dating again. And if you want to date within the polygamous community,
do it. I
Yeah.
just couldn't spiritually do it.
Couldn't spiritually do it. But if you
I
were
was shackled
interested
and chained
with any,
spiritually.
if you're interested with anybody within the polygamous community, you would have to have a release.
Oh, for sure.
So
For sure. So, but with Janelle, for her, her explanation was for, Cody,
Yeah.
Cody has some sort of emotional or spiritual
and I agree
ownership or attachment to her.
Yeah.
And she wanted to make sure that was severed. And so, yeah, you could say it was kind of like a spite thing. But what was funny, the process of it is so ridiculous. It's literally like, we're sitting in a living room somewhere and he just like does his little voodoo and it's like, that's it. Are you shitting me right now? I have been bound to this man for eternity. And that was all you had to do was this and it's over. Like, oh my gosh. And so,
to reverse the handshakes you were given in the beginning.
Oh my gosh. I just think it's, and I'm not trying to be disrespectful of the process. I just feel like it's so utterly ridiculous that you put your eternal soul in the hands of some man that can undo it like that in his front living room. And that's what happened when I got my release. And I'm sure Janelle just got hers over the phone. It was like, okay, I talked to God. He was busy until 4:15, but at 4:15, you're good. Done. Out of there. Like, really? What the hell? And so
don't say anything bad about Cody until 4:15.
At 4:15, so 4:16, you're a free woman.
You can say anything you want negative about your priest because he's no longer your priesthood holder.
I know. And well, what's funny too is that Cory, I wanted to go out of town with Cory and we were just newly dating and I wanted to go out of town with him. He's like, yeah, I'm not going out of town with you until you get this handled. So I go get this handled. Joe's crying, the prophet's crying. And I'm like, oh my God, are we done yet? Like, we're done. And I leave the place. I go get in my car and I call you. I'm like, okay, it's done. Can you go out of town with me now? And you're like, are you serious? I'm like, I'm done. Like, I'm not messing around with this.
Let's go sin.
Oh my God. So anyways, okay, we killed that conversation to death. All right, let's go ahead. Now we're at the point, we're going to skip over all of the facial stuff. Great. I love, again, what? And then I love that Mary's remodeling the Airbnb or the bed and breakfast. It's no longer a bed and breakfast. I think that's cute that her and Amber wrote all the fun things on the wall. I think that's awesome. But then we go back to Janelle in New Orleans with her girlfriends, and she makes this comment about the difference between sister wives and girlfriends. And I think it's so funny. I'm like, yeah. Oh, come on.
You have to sort of play up certain parts of your personality and kind of downplay other parts. It's fine. I did not live a compromised life. I did not live an unhappy life, but I sort of forgot how to have fun a little bit.
This is cute. I love what you got.
All right. I think I barely skipped over the part of it where she said having girlfriends is so much different than having sister wives. I'm like, yeah, because they're not screwing your husband. No. They're not having sex with your husband. And that, I mean, hello, that's going to add any layer of complication.
Well, and I like the part where she's like, I forgot how to have fun. And so I'm learning how to have fun because when I first met you, and I just wrote down here.
Now Cory's going to make fun of me.
She's pulling the metaphorical religious stick out of her ass. So and having fun again.
I was not a very nice person when Cory first met me. I was so tightly wound because I felt like I had to be. I was literally living in fight or flight mode 24/7. My nervous system was so out of control. It was always in fight or flight. And that's just what happens when you're a part of this religion. And when you and I first met, I had left the polygamous group, but then I went back. And so I was deep into it at that point. And so, yeah, it's funny because I'm surprised that you even started dating me because I was so tightly wound. I was just like, no, we got to work. We got to get life is not to enjoy. Life is to be endured. And so I 100% thought that if I ever got a divorce, I would marry an older man that already had a family that could take care of me and my kids. I didn't need to be in a marriage for love because that's inconvenient. There's work that needs to get done. There's shit that we got to do. And so, yeah,
And I made her relax and enjoy life.
Everyone's
So-
like, we didn't even know Melanie could smile. We didn't even know Melanie could be happy. And I remember too, my sister's very tearfully thanking you, saying, thank you, that we have never seen her happy before. And we didn't even know she could be happy. So, let's see. I'm not sure what this little clip is right here, but let's go ahead and play it.
Well,
oh my gosh, I keep muting that. Why?
Step out of that, but like I'm working on it.
So how do you
I
like,
think
I hid a little bit. Like I hid a lot of who I was. I hid a lot of like being so open. It feels a little bit scary and uncomfortable to step out of that, but like I'm working on it.
Yeah.
so
well, and she says in here, what I was impressed with, because I was like, yeah, Janelle's probably not going to. I mean, it's a hard life. And so a lot of my mothers that have, once my dad passed and are no longer, they don't want to marry anybody. The intelligent men within the AUB is very, very slim. And so they didn't want to get hooked up with another man and have to be controlled or obedient to him. So they just have chosen not to be remarried. And I like that Janelle said at this part that she went from a hard no on dating and married to just a maybe.
Yeah.
And so that's her kind of going, okay, but you've dealt with Cody for so many years. You got to have a couple of years off to regain your sanity.
Well, and truthfully, it's so hard. Like I forgot how hard it was with my ex-husband because it's so easy with Cory. And it's like, then you get around him for a minute and it's like, God, no wonder I never wanted to do this again. It was so hard all the time. He was such high maintenance in so many ways. And Cody's such high maintenance to Janelle. And so she's just like, why would I want that brain damage again? I don't want that. That's no, thank you. All right. So this little clip right here is going to be Janelle talking about.
That's when he started making all this noise about he was carrying the whole family.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he had this wife who just was his soulmate or whatever. And I just think he was like, it's too exhausting.
I don't see Caleb or Mitch or anybody saying, oh, I'm done. You guys just figure it out because it's too much responsibility. I don't see that. You know what I mean? And here's Cody with all this family. And he's like, oh, I don't know. Like, I'm tired of carrying the burden. It's aging me. Like, I don't think you really say that when you have a family, but whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I feel sad for these wives because Cody's so upset with all of them for leaving. And yet he presented that as, I'm tired. I'm exhausted. I don't want to do this anymore either. I choose out. I'm just staying at Robin's.
Well, we had a kind of a discussion about this.
Yeah, I was going to play that next clip too before we got into that, but go.
No. Go to the next clip.
Okay, so here comes the next clip, and then we'll talk about why Cody felt that way too, about why we think.
I never shirked my responsibilities ever in this family. I was there, I was always there, and I gave 110% every time. I felt like I wasn't getting that from the rest of my family. I got 3 ex-wives who are going, Cody changed, Cody changed, Cody changed. All right, I guess we all went through menopause together because there is such thing as male menopause. And my testosterone probably just fell to the floor, and I just didn't want to do the hard work anymore.
Okay,
and Cody believes that. He believes that he gave 110%. And the reason is because for 17 years, his 110%, from the first 4 seasons I saw, it scans across there. Cody is sleeping on the recliner while the wives are cooking food and taking care of the kids. So his 110% has been showing up, playing with the kids, doing something, but taking a nap, and the women taking care of him. And then Robin comes on the scene, and Cody's over there doing dishes, putting the kids to bed, doing all of these other things that the 3 original wives have never seen him do. He's never shown up in that way. Yeah.
What?
He's shown up as the priesthood leader that comes home, takes a nap, and then gets up and guides his family in a prayer and eats the food and then goes into the bedroom with his wives. So he felt like that for 17 years he showed up for the family, and then he started doing extra stuff for Robin. All of the wives wanted it, and he's like, no, sorry.
I've shown up this way for 17, 18
Get
years. You
used
didn't
to it.
complain, so
Yeah.
suck it.
Yeah.
And so he did 100% feel like he showed up
Mhm.
at, I showed up at
his
110%, and this is what Robin requires. And I've heard this. I've heard my dad say this to my mom. I already have one wife like that. I'm not going to have two wives like that. If my mom made the same demand that another wife would make. And so I can see Cody getting exhausted because he's like, I can't give 110% at Robin's and 110% at Christine's, or equal amount of energy. And so Christine's like, well, if you can do that at Robin's, you can do that at my house too. And he's like, no, that wasn't the agreement. I haven't been doing that for 20 years. No, screw off. And then now he's angry and mad at these wives for putting an expectation on him that to show up the way he shows up at Robin's.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, I'm not doing that. No, that's not happening. So then he claims in his own mind, yes, he's showing up at 110% because that's how he's always shown up. And and they've never bitched about it before. Why are they bitching about it now? Because now they're seeing him show up differently, and they didn't even know he had that in him.
Yeah. That's a choice. That's a capacity you have.
Right.
Well, you come home and do this. And so, and he was like, absolutely not.
Cody can do homework?
Yep.
What the hell? Okay, when you come home to my house, you're doing homework. Wait, Cody can do dishes? Okay, when you come to my house, you're helping me do homework.
Cody can rub feet instead of just getting a back rub? Why don't you rub my feet? Nope.
And so he's over here going, no, I was showing up 110%. No one else was showing up at 110% because now they're all wanting an equal exchange. Yeah. They're watching Cody give this exchange with Robin, and they're just asking for the same thing. And he's not willing to give that to them. And so now they're in the wrong, not him, because this is not the agreement that they've had for 20 years. And Robin said right out at the beginning, if we're going to do this, you're going to be involved in my family. You're going to be involved in the children. You're going to be involved in raising. And he gave her a sacred covenant that he would do that he would show up for her and her children a certain way. And he didn't give that sacred covenant to the other women, or they just didn't expect it of him. And so they didn't demand it of him. So he didn't have to do it.
And I'm not giving Robin grace, but she'd been through a divorce, so she knew what she was looking for in a new marriage. She gave him expectations. He agreed to those terms. Well, the three other wives until now had never been through a divorce. They didn't know what they were looking for. So that's why those relationships are different. At least Christine now knows what she's looking for in a man, and it's not Cody. So
now she's like, well, wait a minute. I didn't know husbands. And this is one of the things that we don't see this. We don't see a healthy parenting situation when we're kids or marriage. Yeah. We're not exposed to that as children. We don't know that fathers, I literally have never sat on my dad's lap and been snuggled. Not once in my lifetime. Never. I didn't know that dads snuggled their children. I didn't know that until I got older and watched my dad do it with some of my other, younger siblings. We just did not see this behavior. And so these women didn't expect Cody to show up. And so where Robin was in a monogamous relationship with a husband who was home all the time, who probably nurtured her children this way. And she was like, yeah, if I'm going to get in another relationship, then I want my children nurtured alongside of me, not me doing it all by myself, and made him give her a sacred covenant, which he did. And now the other wives want that too. And there's nothing wrong with that. When they see a man do something that they thought he was incapable of doing,
there you go.
And now they're like, wait, you have that capacity? I want that too. Again, this is why I think Cody's so bitter and angry towards these women, because they wanted to change the rules on him 20 years into the marriage. And he's like, wait a minute, I haven't had to do that for 20 years. I am not about to do that now.
Not for all of the wives. Just
not, yeah, one. I'll do it for the one. And so
I had an agreement with her before we got married.
And then another thing, so then they're on the couch interview and Cody's like, I'm at this place in my life where I just don't want to blame anybody anymore. I'm tired of the blame game, but I don't want them blaming me either. Dude, what the hell is wrong with you? You don't get to decide how other people react to what you say and do. You don't get to decide that. The only person you're in control of is yourself. And if someone else wants to blame you, then that's on them. but you don't get to dictate. And again, when he said that, I would like everybody to stop blaming me. When he said that, again, these are the control issues that are so hard for these men to give up when women and children leave. When children go no contact, when women go, I'm done with your bullshit, I'm not doing this anymore, and then they back up and leave. And he's been able to make these demands. I'm done. You don't get to blame me anymore. It's over. This is the last conversation I'm going to have about this. And you're like, yeah, well, you don't owe me anymore, buddy. Sorry. That conversation would have worked 5 years ago when I thought you had more power than you do. And so they're removing his power from him, and he doesn't like that. And then he gets resentful and he gets angry and then he starts blaming other people. And he's like, I don't like this sucky feeling. It gives me indigestion. I'm going to have a whole lemon with warm water at this point because I have a bad digestive tract now. That's why, because they're not used to giving up that much power. They're used to saying something and having it done because their word is God. So,
and you were copying Janelle there, where she was ordering the thing. And
him and his lemons. That's why he has the fake front teeth.
Well, and that's what I was kind of laughing at too, because she's telling the grandchild there that, yeah, oh, sorry, you don't understand. And I would have just added to that if I had been there, or she should have just added to it that, yeah, sorry, we're making fun of a grandpa you've never met and probably never will.
That's what I said. I would have absolutely said that. I would have said,
somebody you'll never meet. So
yeah, I would have told him, okay, so now we're going to get over to this next clip with Robin's actually talking about the influencing of these children. I don't know. I don't feel like this is the right space, but let's see if it comes on to the right.
Really, really influenced.
Some pretty intense influencing. And I just feel like it's so important for your kids to have a relationship with you and for you to have one with them and for them to have one with me.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to dissect a lot of this conversation apart. Why do the kids need a relationship with her?
They don't. And but what she's doing is she's putting down the law that if and she's letting Cody know, if those kids are going to try to work on a relationship with you, you need to be making sure that they're healing and working on a relationship with me, because we're kind of a team now. And so it's one of those things where she is really kind of laying, if you kids want a relationship with your father needs it, you guys need it, but you need to make peace with me and have a relationship with me, is kind of the way she's going about it. And no, you don't have to. I mean, I would have never I fixed my relationship with my dad, but if my dad had come and said, hey, you have to get along with this wife or that wife,
I'd been like, no, I don't.
No, I don't. I don't have to have a relationship with all of your wives the way that you want me to. I'm here to have a relationship with you. So,
right. And I think it's disgusting that she is putting that into Cody's head.
But
the child's relationship with their father should absolutely never hinge on a relationship with a third party. It should be between the father and that child, and that's it. It shouldn't even be between the father, the child, and the biological mother. It should just be between the father and the child, and no one else should be getting in that way. And Robin constantly puts herself in the middle of this situation. Again, I know a ton of wives who do this because they have to be front and center. They have to be relevant. And if they're not relevant, what are they?
And it's a way to control.
Absolutely.
And unfortunately for Cody, I mean, he needs to kind of wake up. She has been divisive with so many relationships. Yeah. How many relationships does he still have? And he should really kind of look at it. She has divided those relationships because she doesn't feel safe, or she feels like people are going to pick on her or do something. Janelle's absolutely right. She's a victim.
Robin thought she was going to show up and be persecuted.
Yeah. And she has that mentality, or she uses that mentality. And gets Cody to do her bidding of, you need to apologize, or you needed to talk nicer to Robin, hey, I don't mind having a relationship with you, Dad, but I don't have to have a relationship with your divisive wife.
Right.
So let's you and I he said in there, I wish I'd just gone and had a beer with my dad. I had beers with my kids. That's the responsible thing to do. And so I'm sitting there going, okay. And then she says that line and I'm like, oh, but she still wants to be in control of those situations, of those relationships, and she will be divisive about it. So,
and I definitely had another mother who was 100% this way. She was like, I'll control the relationship that you have with your father. I'll control the relationship that you have with your children. So I know a lot of polygamous wives that are this way. And it's like, what the hell are you thinking? And the mothers that don't stand up to this, I'm sorry, in my experience, they're just as at fault. And don't come at me in the comments and say, oh, they're victims too. I don't care if you're a victim or not. When you watch your child being abused, you need to stand up and say something, whether you're being abused or not too.
And most of the children are adults now. So the mothers leaving was them standing up in this situation.
Right.
They're not going to be treated or allow this behavior. They have all left now. And so those kids need to go back. And I mean, if Cody decides to fix something, that relationship needs to be between Cody and them. Those kids didn't choose to marry Robin. I know Cody says that they did. Hey, you've met Robin. Wouldn't you like her to be a part of our family? That's a manipulation tactic within itself. Because if the kids could have been honest, no, we're very satisfied with the way we are. Yeah. So we've got a big enough family. We're hardly being fed as it is. So you're adding, what was it, 4 more people into this family?
And a lot of older teenagers were concerned about that.
Yeah. And then they get shamed or criticized because they didn't show the proper amount of emotion for Robin. And so, no, they didn't get a choice. They didn't choose to marry Robin. You did. So you work on your relationship with her and just let your kids and you work on your relationship separate from Robin.
Right.
So,
well, and then Robin makes a comment. She doesn't think that parents realize what the little things that they say, how they influence their children's behavior towards the other parent. So says the mother of Ariella, who said, I hate Christine. I hate Christine because she left dad. I hate Christine because she divorced dad. This woman, I mean, we all have levels of hypocrisy, but this woman's hypocrisy is undeniably gross. I mean, it's huge.
She doesn't like it when it's her tactics are turned around onto her.
Right.
So that upsets her. These women should have been bigger or better than they are. So it's one of those tactics where it's like, well, she can handle it because she's a stronger woman. I'm weaker. And so I can be snotty. I can do these things to her, but she can't do that to me. So, and she's exactly
and
that
my mom
way.
literally had a sister wife who said that to her. I know that you feel this way about me, but please don't say these things to me. I can dish this out, but I can't take this.
Yeah.
And so this is very, that frustrates me. And so Robin acts like she knows all of these things, but what has she done to Preston's family? What has she done to Preston? What has she done to Preston Jessup? Like, that's the part that kills me, is she proclaims all of these wonderful things that in a great world, those kids would still have a great relationship with their father because she wouldn't influence that relationship.
I can hear people up in Montana screaming hypocrisy.
Oh, I'm sure they're enraged. I'm sure they're enraged. I mean, 90% of people we know can't stand these.
Everything that she's done to these other families, now it's happening to her. And she's like, oh, poor me.
She's like, this isn't fair. I don't like it when somebody treats me like this, even though I have treated another family this way. I just want to show this clip because I feel like this is so.
Dad's not around the same amount as mom. I'm just exhausted. I'm so tired of being blamed for how his kids feel about him.
Mm-hmm.
It's his responsibility, not mine.
Look, I wish I had a lot of influence on my adult children. Boy, things would be really different.
I've reached out to every one of my children.
And so I love that part right there because I have felt that way too. I mean, even to this day, my ex-husband goes, oh, I should have stayed in your guys' lives more often because your mom made you hate Jesus. What the hell are you saying? And so there is so much of this where the mothers get blamed. If the child is performing well, then they're the father's child. But if the child is rebellious in any way, then it's the mother's fault. Then the mother failed. Then the mother didn't do her part of the job. But if that child is excelling in anything. Oh, I'm going to be another polygamist. Oh, I'm going to get 2 or 3 wives, blah, blah, blah. That's the father's child. This is the way that the children are recognized. And you hear Cody say it, oh, Christine's kids, oh, Janelle's kids. Oh, but if he had a child that was performing the way he wanted them to be, they'd be his kids, or they'd be his and Robin's kids. And I think that's extremely tragic. And then we're going to play this because this just came out today. We don't have this written down. We weren't planning on sharing this, but this just came out today. So we're going to play this.
I've reached out to every one of my children and multiple times. And if they don't have a relationship with me, it's because they're not reciprocating.
So if any of you have seen Leon Brown's post on social media today, there was a comment that was made that was a bold-faced lie, that was a complete lie, that Cody has never reached out to Leon. And so I think that is really sad. To me, when I watched that, I felt like I could see that he was lying, because he's like, I had a great relationship with my kids before the divorces came in. These men like to tell themselves whatever it is that they feel like they need to say so that they can live with the choices that they're making consistently.
Yeah.
What were you going to say?
One thing I just wrote down is Robin's okay with severe influencing. I can't remember how she did when she's doing it. She just gets irritated if people wake up and aren't going to, the influencing is happening through somebody else that's doing it better. And I don't think that, to be honest with you, he makes the statement there too. We were raised to respect our mothers and our sisters. You did not, you didn't curse at them. You didn't say no to our mothers. We were raised to respect those mothers. And so, and I'm sure the Brown kids were taught the same thing. That's one of the I think that's one of the teachings that most of them. And so then to turn around and have your priesthood holder or your father disrespect your mothers, that's hypocrisy all the way around. And so you lose amount of respect and that relationship is damaged when a father is disrespecting the mothers. And Cody says, yeah, I've had a problem with the mothers, and
said some really angry things.
He said some mean things about them. Well, that's you damaging your relationship with your kids because you sat there, I'm assuming, and taught those kids that they do not disrespect their mothers, that they're obedient to their mothers.
Right. So. Well, and even still, like, you're 50%. Your father, 50% your mother. And when you hear one of those parents tearing apart the other parent, that is hard not to take that personally. Like, am I that way? Do you feel that way about me? And so it's like when you are talking to a child and saying that parent, I have a lot of mean things to say about your mother's a da 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 da. That child internalizes that and feels that they have done something wrong, feels that there's something wrong about them because they're 50% of that. And so it's not only the fact that he's being hypocritical by disrespecting their mothers after he's taught them not to do that. It's the fact that he is tearing the very fabric of who that child is in half. And he's discrediting and demeaning, and it is disgusting and sad to me. And when he said that, I've had a lot of mean things to say about their mothers. I was sick to my stomach about that, because that is so.
That right there is the damaging part of the relationship. I'm sorry, it is. The way we grew up, we were taught to protect our mothers, be obedient to them, love them, don't disrespect them in any way. And then to have him turn around and disrespect them, you're just like, you're a friggin' hypocrite. We got beat. We got beat is the best way to describe it, if we were disrespectful to our mothers. And so then to have a father turn around and be just as disrespectful, I'm sorry, that's you can't, I guess you could, but beat your father, but no, you just lose respect for him and don't have a relationship with him because he's been lying to you the whole sinking time you were,
Right.
and you got beat for something that he's doing. So,
Right.
yeah.
I love that Janelle opens up. She talks about getting her release. I thought it was hilarious when her friends were joking and they're laughing and they're like, oh, because they said, can the man get a release? And Janelle says, yes, a man can initiate a release, which he absolutely can. Cody has stated that numerous times. A man cannot go seek a release, which we have said is an absolute lie. You can.
Well, you're misquoting him again. A man's ego cannot go get a release. A
That's
man
true.
could go get a release, but his ego would not allow him to go get a release in the AUB. So
I'm like, oh, am I misquoting? Tell me just how, please.
there you go. So yeah, that was actually the funniest part.
Yeah.
I asked the question at the beginning. That was the funniest part. Get 2 releases, get the third one.
I know,
for free.
because her friends are like, what, does he get frequent flyer miles when he goes in and gets multiple releases? So I think it's hilarious. All right. And then we move back to Cody and Robin speaking about his father and how devastated he is over the relationship that he has with his father. He wishes that he would have had the sense to try to heal things with his father before his father passed. Then he goes off with a quote that says, the knife of the father is never out of the hearts of his children. Wanted to play that one here. What'd you have?
Well, and he recognizes that. He probably feels offended or sad about something that him and his dad went through. But yeah, and it breaks his heart that his kids probably feel the same thing. So
do you really think so? Do you think that he thinks outside of himself enough to feel sad that his kids would feel sad over that?
I do in some way. I felt like he probably,
I know you want to give him a little grace, huh?
Internalized that I felt this way because of my father. I wonder if my kids feel that way. If they do, that's heartbreaking. But
you feel that way, but I don't know that Cody Brown feels that way. Okay. I think Robin tries to point it out to him, but I don't know that he really,
because
I think empathize.
I think he has these weak moments where he feels deeply, or he's like, yeah, this is right. And then all of a sudden his ego takes over again and he goes, but it's these 3 women's fault too. And so there needs to be apologies all the way around. So.
Right. Well, I think Robin points things out to Cody, but then she backtracks and says stupid shit like this. Oh, come on. Unmute.
And that's a lot to take to your self-confidence. The fact that Cody is still functioning as well as he is a freaking miracle, considering what has been dumped on top of his head.
3 divorces.
There's a phrase I heard: the knife of the father is never out of the heart of his children.
That's what my point is.
That breaks my heart. I wish so badly that I could fix things with my own dad.
Okay, you're probably right. Because he's then internalizes and says, wish he did that with the dad. Because if he was this emotional, he gets brownie points for being this emotional with Robin. If he was this emotional and serious with his kids, then the relationship would be quickly healing itself.
Yep.
And so it would miraculously fix a lot of the issues, but he's showing emotion right here in front of Robin and the TV screen, and he gets sweet sensitive side of Cody. So,
and the problem is that I feel like, and we saw this on Special Forces, I have seen this dozens of times with my own father. In the moment he's sad, in the moment he's sorry, in the moment he is experiencing pain, but he doesn't know how to take that outside of that moment and go, God, my child could actually be experiencing this pain. It doesn't resonate with him if he's not personally feeling the pain. And so he doesn't know how to empathize or put himself in a position where he's like, oh my God, my child actually might feel that. So in the moment, he's devastated. He's sad. He's going to admit, this is all my fault. This is this is 100% my fault. But then when he's out of that moment, it doesn't matter to him necessarily emotionally. Logically, he might go, oh yeah, that sucks if my kids feel upset, but he doesn't know how to put the 2 and 2 together and feel it if it happens to his child. He only knows how to feel it if it happens to him.
Well, and we were sitting there talking today. It's because he goes in and he has a human moment, a human emotion in a moment. But then when he gets in front of the TV camera or in front of the child or the ex-wife, then he needs to bring back and put on his priesthood holder persona back on.
Exactly.
And so he brings up that persona, that
Mhm.
priesthood persona and his ego, and justifies his behavior, even though he had this human breakdown moment where he was actually feeling some emotions.
Right.
But then that makes him too vulnerable.
Mhm.
And so
And
then
he's not going to be vulnerable with somebody he's supposed to be in charge of.
Yeah, exactly.
Somebody that he owns, somebody
Right.
that he is, that it's
They
his,
need to take responsibility and listen to the advice that
that
he's
he
giving
should
them.
be getting respect from, regardless of whether he shows respect.
There you
He's
go.
not going to give that. So, all right. And then I feel like this is why him and Robin play so, I don't want to say well, because it's not well, but this is how they play off of each other. And I feel like, again, this goes back to the conversation that Janelle had with her friends at the bar on the previous episode, where she says, no, Robin and Cody are equally yoked.
Yeah.
They are equally yoked in the way that they manipulate and the way that they give a little power to get a little power. Because what Robin has to say right here, let's pull this one back up.
Would really be a benefit, you know? When I see Cody being rejected by his kids, I see myself. My dad, Paul, married my mom when I was about 9 years old.
It's in the trailer.
Well, my dad, Paul, was absolutely wonderful to me. And while I was angry and did reject my biological father for years, I do understand how much I needed him and still would love to have him in my life and in my kids' life. I look like him. I look like my biological father. I look like him more than my mom.
So in this moment, Robin's having this moment, yet does she extend the same level of understanding and feeling and emotion to her children? Because Brianna sure does look a lot like her biological father.
Well, and the interesting, hopefully, Robin, if you're watching, the manipulation, you are missing your dad. So, and that connection, and you can have two dads. So,
Right.
You have multiple mothers, but you can have two dads too. And maybe that was some manipulation your mom played on you, because you're a pro at manipulating your kids and the other kids within the family to get.
Right.
And so maybe encourage your kids to have a relationship with their biological father.
And that's the part,
because you are missing it.
right. That's the part that kills me, is that you watch this woman and you watch her project onto all of Cody's kids and their relationships with their mothers and their relationships with Cody. And yet sweetheart, are you handling your own business? Are you handling the business of being a mother to your own children? And do they have a relationship with their father? I mean, who knows? Maybe they do. But in some of the episodes that we've seen already, it does not appear that Preston Jessup got any sort of a fair shot with these children. They were instantly turned away from that family. And he's got a mother. They have grandparents. They have aunts and uncles on this side of the family did they have this relationship with them? I mean, because I'm sorry, Brianna looks just like her father's family. And so I really struggle when I watch Robin try to manipulate the audience into feeling sorry for Cody when she turned around and she did the same thing, or for what it appears to be the same thing, to her children's father. and she was angry that it was done to her. She was frustrated because it was done to her. And I did see a recent photo of Robin and her dad, her biological dad, together, and they do look a very, I saw that picture not too long ago, and I was like, wow, she looks just like her biological father. Now, I didn't know her biological father as intimately as you did. I'm not saying that you knew him intimately, but he was very closely involved with your family. And yeah, Cory has no love lost there.
No, I appreciate Robin and her mom and her dad about the same. So
yeah. Oh, great. Nice. I'm like, oh, okay.
That I give them, it's not fair, but I do give them equal loathing. So
right. So I'm just
I would, it's not even that I loathe them. It's just, there are people that I would never have in my sphere.
If they weren't in the same high controlled religion as you, you would never have anything to do with them. Well, definitely doesn't seem very, her biological father doesn't seem very integratable from the stories that I have been told. He seems like a pretty, yeah.
Well, but in the AUB standards, that was very integrable.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. I mean, I guess, how are you comparing integrity? Are you comparing apples and oranges?
Versus inside
very true.
Community integrity is two different things.
Very true.
I don't know what. So no, he was following the Lord. He was obedient. So yeah.
Cory's family had a very, very steep falling out with Robin's biological father. He broke the Fourth Amendment to the Constitution and probably should have gone to jail, but he didn't. So there's that. Okay. So then we
allegedly.
I know, I got to learn how to use that word. Damn it. So then we end the episode with Robin crying and just saying, I don't have a lot of influence with Christine, Janelle, or Mary, but I do with Cody, and I'm doing my best to make sure that he handles things integratively. And we've seen how that's all panned out. Doesn't seem like it's doing a very good job there. Again, I don't want to hate on Robin. I just get really tired. We're going to make an entirely separate video about this because we have experienced that. Me having 3 children going through a divorce have experienced what Robin is going through right here. And so we want to make an entire video around that and around getting divorced, because I did divorce one man from the AUB and turned around and married another man from the AUB.
I wasn't part of the AUB.
Well, I know, but born and raised in the AUB. And then Robin did the same thing. She married somebody born and raised in the AUB, turned around, married another person who was actively a part of the AUB. And so we're going to make an entire video around that subject, because there's a lot more to go into. I don't want to I'm sure that my ex-husband watches a lot of our videos and thinks I'm a hypocrite because of the things that I have said. Just like I'm watching Robin feeling like she's quite the hypocrite.
So there's empathy that I have for her and what she's gone through.
Right. Because not everything is as it seems. And the efforts that we put in, we're not seen and we're not respected and we're not appreciated. And so we're going to make a whole video around that. Probably, I'm thinking tomorrow.
TLC does horrible editing for Robin's sake. So
yeah. So
I don't know if that's editing or if that's truly who she is. I don't know her. I haven't been part of the AUB for 36 years. I knew her when I was a teenager. And so, And so I don't know what their adult life is. My adult life has been completely different than the way we grew up. But she does follow a lot of the teachings we grew up with and identifies and looks like a lot of the polygamous wives that we grew up with. And so that's how we can compare it. And so then we just need to compare what we tried to do. And it could have been misstrued. So.
Right. And so I'm sure that I was presented as quite the Robin in my ex-husband's life. One thing that she ends the episode with is saying that Cody needs to find himself again because he's lost the good man that she married. And I would agree. I would absolutely agree that he was a different person from seasons 1 all the way to now. it's heartbreaking to watch how far this man has gone down. And then when you see Leon's post today on social media, these children are hurting. And again, we have said this numerous times on this podcast, that the children are the collateral damage in this religion.
Yeah.
They truly are. They're the unforgotten. They're the ones that take all of the shit and they internalize it. They watch their parents. These brown children had theirs publicized for the entire world to see. Like, how tragic is that?
I do not envy
No.
that, because I was able to come out into the world and adjust and do therapy and go through so much healing before it was exposed by myself that I came from a polygamous family. So
yeah. And again, when we went into Holding Out Help to look, you know, they're offering so many different types of therapies for people coming out of this. I hope and pray that those brown children go and get therapy, because none of them are broken, but man, have they got some probably deep bruises that they could be loved back together. And it hurts my heart when I see, because I know how that feels. I know I've been there. I know how that feels to feel so broken and need to have your pieces loved.
And I don't know the whole story. I mean, the kids are the ones that kind of know it, but I'm envious of Christine's telling of her life as a child within polygamy. It seemed very loving and very connected to her dad and stuff like that. I envied that.
Yeah.
I envy the brown kids. They seem to have a different upbringing than I did. So
they had a lot of good, happy times. It seems like, at least it seems that way on the show.
Good times. Yeah. And I'm not saying we didn't have times that were happy, but it was just a different way of
It was hard. It was really hard.
My growing up in polygamy was so much harder than Christine's tale and the brown kids' tale. So, but still, I see little things that I've gone through therapy to heal that I can see happening, that the kids are getting a bit of that, a smaller portion of that. So, I wish, you know what, polygamy would probably be amazing if they all grew up.
No, it wouldn't.
If it all had wonderful childhoods like the Browns had, like Christine had. So I had a different version of that. I had some good times, but it was difficult. It was a hard way to grow up.
Right.
So my good times were, I appreciate the good times that I had growing up. So, and I would have never raised my kids in that environment. So that's just how it is.
So we get to the end of the video. They're showing all of the scenes that are coming up. I think that they're really trying to play off of, I could be completely wrong. I just want to give Janelle more faith than that. I don't believe that Janelle would ever do a backdoor deal with Cody. Why would she take the time out of, what did I just say? I'm not even going to go there because Cory's mind went in the gutter. But why would Janelle take the time to call Mary and try to warn her ahead of time? You need to make sure that your portion of this is protected. Why would she do that if she was just going to backdoor deal something with Cody later on? So I don't agree. I don't believe that that's really what's going to happen. I think that Christine is wise to always, when's the other shoe going to drop? You know, he might be giving out an olive branch that's full of barbs.
Well, and that's why Christine, with all the drama about selling Cody Pass, Christine was like, "Oh my gosh,
so glad I don't have to do that.
To deal with that,
right?
Just give it to them and let them fight over it."
Well, and the amount of money that she took off of her property, she was able to turn around and buy another property, or you know what I mean? And she didn't have to go through all the therapy to heal through all the drama of a showdown at Coyote Pass. So let us know what you guys think in the comments. If we missed something in the episode that you wished we would have covered, please let us know in the comments, and we'll try to bring that up. Yeah, we'll try to get that into another video. Again, please think about holding out help this holiday season as you're looking which charities you want to give to for the holiday season. And like, share, subscribe, hype our video. It lets YouTube know that it's a great video. And We'll push it out to more people. You guys have been so amazing about hyping our videos. We have gotten a good chunk of hypes.
Yeah. And if you guys help holding out help, just tell them Nefarious Revelation sent you.
Oh my gosh. You're so
They'll know what it means. So.
right.
You got a Nefarious Revelation to send over some help to them.
That's so funny. And then follow us on our other social medias if you'd like to. We didn't do a wine one down. We can't drink that much. Like I probably can drink every other weekend. That's probably my limit, but we did have tea. So we had a really good, we did our little watch of, and did that on TikTok. I'll release that here on YouTube probably tomorrow. And then also follow us on Instagram if you want to see more of our personal lives of what we're doing, like Cory painting my fingernails for me because he's such a good himbo husband. I absolutely adore him, getting me all ready for the holidays. So yeah, it was funny. Last night, I gave myself my own haircut and colored my own hair. And then he gave me, and he's like, what are you doing? I'm like, babe, I am a DIY project all the way. I am 100% DIY. I'm too busy this week to go get anything professionally done. And besides, it's stupid expensive. So we do it ourselves around here. So yeah, make sure you follow us on all of our other social medias for other stuff. And then make sure you leave us a comment if you have any questions for us. All right. Thanks so much.